Hey there, world travelers and curious minds. Have you ever wondered why different countries celebrate New Year on different days or use different calendars? Well, you're in for a treat today because we're diving deep into the fascinating world of calendars around the globe. Let's get started. First, let's answer a basic question. How many types of calendars are out there? Well, in total, there are quite a few, but there are three major ones that many countries still use today: the Gregorian calendar, the lunar calendar, and the solar calendar. Most countries around the world follow the Gregorian calendar, which was introduced by Pope Gregory Roman XIII in 1582. This is the calendar most of us are familiar with January 1st marking the start of a new year. But not every country celebrates the new year on this date. Why? Let's explore. Let's start with China. While China officially follows the Gregorian calendar, their traditional New Year, the Chinese New Year, is celebrated based on the lunar calendar. This means it falls on a different date every year, typically between late January and mid-February. But why does China have this unique celebration? Chinese New Year celebrates the arrival of spring and is tied to ancient traditions and astrology. The date is determined by the second new moon after the winter solstice, which is why the date fluctuates each year. Next up, we have India, which is home to several regional calendars. The Hindu calendar is widely used for religious purposes and is based on both the lunar and solar cycles. One famous New Year celebration here is Diwali, the Festival of Lights, which occurs between October and November, depending on the lunar cycle. But hold up, did you know that India also celebrates a solar New Year in certain regions like Panchang, and different states celebrate different dates for the New Year? Let's travel to the Middle East, specifically to Saudi Arabia and other Islamic nations. Here, the Islamic calendar comes into play, which is purely lunar. The Islamic New Year, known as Hijri New Year, varies each year because this calendar doesn't account for leap years the way the Gregorian one does. Islamic New Year can fall anywhere from July to September, and it's celebrated with prayers and reflection. Ever heard of Ethiopia? They follow their very own Ethiopian calendar, which is similar to the Coptic calendar, and it's roughly 7 years behind the Gregorian calendar. Their new year, known as Enkudatash, takes place on September 11th. Pretty cool, right? Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. The Jewish calendar. In Israel, Rosh Hashanah marks the Jewish New Year, celebrated in September or October. The Jewish calendar is lunisolar, meaning it's based on both the moon and the sun cycles. Each calendar tells a unique story rooted in religious beliefs, history, and astronomy. These differences make New Year celebrations around the world incredibly diverse and rich in culture. So, why do we have these different calendars and New Year celebrations? Well, it all comes down to how ancient cultures understood time and how they wanted to mark the changing of seasons, the cycles of the moon, and religious significance. Each culture has chosen the way that best reflects its own history and values. Whether it's the fireworks of the Chinese New Year, the bright lights of Diwali, or the solemn prayers of the Islamic New Year, one thing is clear: the start of a new year is a time for reflection, joy, and hope no matter when it happens. If you enjoyed this journey through the world's diverse calendars and New Year celebrations, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more amazing content. Drop a comment below. I want to know, when do you celebrate the New Year, and which tradition fascinates you the most? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!